Welcome to Brainish English Stories.
A mother sat with her little child. She was very sad and scared that the child might die. The child was very pale, with small eyes closed. It breathed softly, sometimes with a deep breath, like a sigh. The mother looked even more sadly at her little one. Then there was a knock at the door. A poor old man came in, wrapped in a big blanket, because it was very cold outside. It was winter, and everything outside was covered with ice and snow. The wind was very strong and cold. The old man shivered from the cold. While the child slept for a moment, the mother poured some ale into a pot and put it on the stove to warm it. The old man rocked the cradle, and the mother sat on a chair next to him, looking at her sick child, who breathed deeply and lifted its little hand. "Do you think I can save him?" she asked. "God will not take him from me." The old man, who was really deaf, nodded strangely. It could mean yes or no. The mother looked down at her lap, and tears ran down her cheeks. She was very tired, not having slept for 3 days and nights. She fell asleep for a minute, but then woke up, shivering from the cold. "What is that?" she said, looking around. The old man and her child were gone. Death had taken the child. The old clock in the corner made a loud noise, and then it stopped. The poor mother ran out of the house, crying for her child. Outside, in the snow, sat a woman in long, black clothes. She said, "Death was in your room. I saw him take your child. He moves faster than the wind, and he never brings back what he takes." "Oh, tell me which way he went," the mother said. "Tell me, and I will find him." "I know the way," said the woman in black. "But before I tell you, you must sing all the songs you sang for your child. I like them. I heard them before. I am night. I saw your tears while you sang them. I will sing them all, said the mother. "But do not stop me now. I may catch him. I may find my child." But night stood still and quiet. Then the mother wrung her hands, sang and cried, and there were many songs, but even more tears. Then night said, "Go to the right, into the dark pine forest." I saw death take your little child that way. The roads crossed each other deep in the forest, and she did not know which way to go. Then she saw a thorn bush. It had no leaves or flowers because it was the cold winter, and ice hung on the branches. "Have you seen death go past with my little child?" said the mother. "Yes," said the thorn bush. "But I will not tell you which way he went unless you first warm me with your heart. I am freezing to death. I will become a lump of ice." And she pressed the thorn bush to her chest so tightly that it might be warmed. The thorns went into her skin, and her blood flowed in big drops. But the thorn bush grew fresh green leaves and flowers in the cold winter night, as the mother's warm heart heated it. Then the thorn bush told her the way to go. She then came to a large lake where there was no ship or boat. The lake was not frozen enough to walk on, it was not open, nor low enough to wade through, and she had to cross it to find her child. She lay down to drink up the lake, but that was impossible for a person. But the mother hoped a miracle might happen anyway. "Oh, what would I not give to reach my child?" said the crying mother, and she cried even more, and her eyes sank into the deep waters and became two precious pearls. But the water lifted her up like she was on a swing, and she floated in the waves to the shore on the other side, where there was a big, strange house. She could not tell if it was a mountain with forests and caves, or if it was built. But the poor mother could not see it. She had cried her eyes out. "Where can I find Death, who took my little child?" she asked. "He is not here yet," said an old grave woman who looked after Death's big greenhouse. "How did you find the way here? And who helped you?" "God has helped me," she said. "He is kind, and you will be kind too. Where can I find my little child?" "I don't know," said the woman, "and you cannot see. Many flowers and trees have died tonight. Death will soon come and plant them again. You know that every person has a life's tree or flower, just as they are. They look like other plants, but they have heartbeats. Children's hearts can also beat. Go find yours. Maybe you will know your child's. But what will you give me if I tell you what more you should do?" "I have nothing to give," said the sad mother, "but I will go to the end of the world for you." "I don't need anything there," said the woman. "But you can give me your long black hair. You know it is fine, and I like it. You can have my white hair instead, and that's something." "Do you ask for nothing else?" said she. "I will gladly give you that." And she gave her fine black hair and got the old woman's snow-white hair instead. So they went into Death's big greenhouse, where flowers and trees grew in a strange way. There were fine hyacinths under glass covers and strong peonies with thick stems. There were water plants, some fresh and some half sick, with water snakes lying on them and black crabs pinching their stems. There were beautiful palm trees, oaks, and plantains. There was parsley and thyme with flowers. Every tree and flower had a name. Each was a human life. The people lived in places like China or Greenland, all around the world. There were big trees in small pots, stunted and ready to burst the pots. In other places, there were small dull flowers in rich soil, with moss around them, carefully cared for. But the sad mother bent over all the small plants and listened to their hearts. Among millions, she knew her child's heart. "There it is," she cried and reached out her hands to a little blue crocus that looked very sick on one side. "Don't touch the flower," said the old woman, "but stand here, and when Death comes, I expect him any moment. Don't let him pick the flower. Threaten to do the same with the other flowers. Then he will be afraid. He is responsible for them to our Lord, and no one dares to pick them before he says so." Suddenly, an icy cold rushed through the big hall, and the blind mother could feel that Death had come. "How did you find your way here?" he asked. "How could you come faster than me?" "I am a mother," she said. And Death reached out his long hand toward the little flower, but she held her hands tightly around his. She was afraid she might touch one of the leaves. Then Death blew on her hands, and she felt they were colder than the cold wind, and her hands fell down, powerless. "You can't do anything against me," said Death. "But our Lord can," she said. "I only do his work," said Death. "I am his gardener. I take all his flowers and trees and plant them in the big garden of paradise in the unknown land. But how they grow there and what it is like there, I can't tell you." "Give me back my child," said the mother, and she wept and prayed. At once, she grabbed two beautiful flowers nearby, one with each hand, and cried out to Death, "I will tear all your flowers, for I am in great pain." "Don't touch them," said Death. "You say you are so unhappy, but now you want to make another mother just as unhappy." "Another mother," said the poor woman, and she let go of both flowers right away. "Here, you have your eyes," said Death. "I got them from the lake. They shone so bright. I didn't know they were yours. Take them back. They are brighter now. Look down into the deep well close by. I will tell you the names of the two flowers you wanted to pull up, and you will see their whole future lives, their whole human existence, and see what you were about to disturb and destroy." She looked down into the well, and she was happy to see how one flower became a blessing to the world, spreading happiness and joy everywhere. Then she saw the other flower's life, which was full of sorrow, distress, horror, and misery. "Both of them are God's will," said Death. "Which one is the flower of misfortune, and which is the flower of happiness?" she asked. "That I will not tell you," said Death. "But know this, one of those flowers was your own child. You saw your child's fate, your own child's future life." The mother screamed with fear, "Which one was my child? Tell me. Save the innocent one. Save my child from all that misery. Rather take it away. Take it to God's kingdom. Forget my tears, forget my prayers, and everything I have done." "I do not understand you," said Death. "Do you want your child back, or should I take it to the place where you do not know?" Then the mother wrung her hands, fell on her knees, and prayed to our Lord, "Oh, do not listen to me when I pray against your will, which is the best. Do not listen to me. Do not listen to me." And she bowed her head in her lap, and Death took her child and went with it to the unknown land.